Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, and I'd like to start with the Nasdaq today, and then the S&P 500, and then the European markets. And with the Nasdaq here, it's been one of the markets that has been leading the trend to the upside with mainly the Frank stocks. At the moment, we're seeing the S&P 500 make new highs above its previous highs here, and that's being led by the banking sector in the US. And with the Nasdaq here, it's we're still expecting it to move a little bit higher here to finish this intermediate wave 3 here. And yeah, so that's still moving there. The S&P 500 just moving into that. Oops, here we go. So with the S&P 500, we thought we may have had a top in on this top here, but we need to look at this particular pattern here as a corrective pattern, and we talked about this before as well, as having this as an A and a B and a C wave here, but we could only prove that once we'd moved above the 61.8% mark here, which is about here, and now we've got support on the 2650, which is an important number, and now we're looking for this market to move up into the 2700 area here. So we've still got more upside here, and also into the Nasdaq as well. This may also move up to this next higher number here, which is the 2720 area here, and topping out there. But we can certainly expect a larger correction from these levels here. However, it still leaves us, a good few sessions to the upside here, and of course that will take the European markets higher as well. Now, some of the European markets are moving more than the others. If we start with the DAX here, just on the daily chart here, one of the things here is that we've already got intermediate wave 3 in here, which on the US markets we're looking for that current top at the moment. But it's very unusual for the European markets to be leading the way in the markets. They're normally followers. So, I always sort of scratch my head about labeling this wave 3 here, but it looked like common sense in terms of the actual structure that we're moving on up here. The only other way that this could be different here, and having wave 5 over here and wave 3 over here, and also this wave 5 over here, this would have to be wave 3 here and wave 4 here, and then having this one over here as wave 1 and 2 and 4 over here. Now, it doesn't make much sort of sense here, because it may not have enough time to get up all that distance there in line with the S&P 500. But when I look at the AEX, for example, this market here has moved higher. We were looking for this to be the A wave here, the B wave up here. But I think that this could actually make another high here. It may not. I know that I can see in this little structure from this low here going up here, I can see that we've got wave 1 and 2 in here, and we've got wave 3 here, but we'll get wave 4, and we could have wave 5 topping out into here. So in this particular instance here, then it would make sense that we have wave 5 over here, wave 4 here, and I can put this one over here, and then have this wave 3 here. And in this case here, we would move this over to here, this here, and this over to here, and this wave 1 here, and an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, which makes more sense to me. I know on the cash market for the AEX here, on the daily chart, you can see that it had quite a drop here. But if you kind of ignore that, it was basically a gap and then a recovery. So this counts quite nice here as actually wave 1, an A and a B and a C, an A, B, C, and down here an A and a B and a C here for wave 2 as a corrective, an impulse wave here and a corrective wave here, and a wave 3 and a wave 4 coming into here, and a wave 5 coming up into this space here to have this top. So I know that markets don't always finish their tops in a perfect manner as such, especially when you've got leading stocks and following stocks and so on and so on. So it's quite possible for this market to do this on the AEX. So on going back to the DAX here, as you can see, it doesn't really have enough time to make a new high here. I know that the DAX can also, be lagging a lot and then move quite swiftly to the upside. So that's possible. I mean, it's just always bugged me that we've had wave 3 here, but it just made sort of sense for that. If I go into the 4-hour chart and then the hourly chart, we'll just look at what we've, whoops, haven't updated that one for a while, but this one here, we're looking at this here in terms of wave 4 here and wave 5 coming up here for this B wave. So I need to, I wanted to take us on that little journey down that side street there, just to sort of shoot the breeze on possibilities. But with this particular wave count here, we need to pretty much stay on track here. So any low under this wave 4 here now we can short, but we know that we've been looking at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and then we'll be making a new high above this one here. So the target to the upside here is 13,300 here for the DAX, and we'll still leave it there as wave B for the time being, and we'll see. We don't need these anymore, they're just old triggers. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But this little distance here, and also looking for 5 waves up into this space here as well. Normally wave 3 comes to the top of the previous trend, and then A and a B and a C here for wave 4, wave 4, and then wave 5 to the upside here. So that's what we're looking for there. So let's see how we get to this point. We won't go, if you trade to that point and get out, because if we were going to go long on top of 13,300, we would need to see a trigger, and we would need to see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then an A and a B and a C wave, and then we'd need to find support on there again, and we'd use a trigger here. That would be for over here. So that process takes quite some time. When we look at the S&P 500, we need to compare that to the Nasdaq too, because that needs to make another high, and once they're logged in, then we can look at these markets moving lower from this point here. But we certainly don't have any short trades in this space here at the moment, but a breach of 13,100 on this low here, or you better still, rather than breaching that low there, the 13,000 as a retested resistance would be, it would move through, come back and test it, you'd have your reference point, and then you would short it from that point. That's the safe trade in that case. But this pattern here is corrective, and we're expecting a new high above there. Brings us over to the FTSE as well. In this particular case, we've seen a strong move to the upside. So if I just go to the 4-hour chart here, so once again here with this market, we were looking at wave 4 here, and we traded all this up here nicely, and we moved out of the market, but we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so we knew that we were moving lower from that stage. The move down here is we've labelled this as wave 3 here as well, but I do scratch my head to see if we can make a new high over here. I'm not sure about that, but this move down through here so far is a corrective wave, and I've labelled it as such, as an A and a B and a C here for wave A here, and we're looking for wave B to the upside. So if I could just copy that here and put that up here. And in that instance, we'd be looking at this as wave A here, wave B here in blue, and wave C here, which has a little further to go up into this space here. So that would be an A and a B and a C. On the bullish side, which we need to look at as well, it would label this as wave 1 and 2 here and 3 here, and then we'll have wave 4 here and wave 5 here. But if we had that 5-wave structure here, that puts us into a bullish mode. So once again, we need to see if we go above this wave 3 top here. So in this instance here, what we need to do, I can see that this little leg here still needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here to finish this top here. So I want to get a good idea of what happens here. So if you're trading long through here, then well, we'd normally trade to the 7.5 and get out, even though it can move higher, and then there would be a correction here. So this correction is either going to deliver us more downside from here, or it's going to deliver us more upside. But at that stage, we would be looking at long trades taking this high out here, or we'll find a better a lower entry point here for going higher at this stage. So we need to number 5, 7,500, 5 here is second strongest number in the market after 1, 5, then 8. So we can expect a correction in this space here, and we can expect it to come back down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which is here. So we can look at coming back down to the 7,450 after it tops out in this space here. So we're just going to allow that to occur here, and we won't be looking for short trades or long trades until we can identify what this pattern is going to deliver here, and also too to see how long this takes and where the S&P, the US markets are, and the rest of the European markets are at that stage. All right, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.